What if I told you that a conflict in a small Southeast Asian country would reshape global politics for decades to come? The Vietnam War wasn't just America's longest war. It was a turning point that redefined how superpowers engage in conflict, how media covers warfare, and how entire generations view their government's decisions. Today, we're examining the complete timeline of the Vietnam War from 1955 to 1975. 20 years that transformed not just Vietnam, but the entire world. The Vietnam conflict represents one of the most complex and consequential wars of the 20th century. What began as a struggle for Vietnamese independence evolved into a proxy war between superpowers, ultimately involving over 3 million Americans and reshaping international relations. In this comprehensive analysis, we'll explore 3 critical phases. First, how French colonial collapse led to American involvement. Second, the escalation and peak of U.S. military engagement. And finally, the withdrawal and lasting consequences that continue to influence global politics today. By understanding this conflict's progression, we gain insight into modern warfare, international diplomacy, and the profound human cost of geopolitical competition. The story begins not in 1955, but with the end of French colonial rule. After the decisive Battle of Dien in 1954, Vietnam was temporarily divided at the 17th parallel through the Geneva Accords. The communist-led Democratic Republic of Vietnam controlled the north under Ho Chi Minh, while the Republic of Vietnam governed the south under Ngo Dinh. Here's where the complexity begins. The Geneva Accords called for nationwide elections in 1956 to reunify the country. However, these elections never occurred. President Eisenhower later admitted that Ho Chi Minh would likely have won 80% of the vote, a reality that conflicted with American Cold War strategy. The domino theory drove American thinking during this period. As Senator John F. Kennedy stated in 1956, Burma, Thailand, India, Japan, the Philippines, and obviously Laos and Cambodia are among those whose security would be threatened if the red tide of communism overflowed into Vietnam. By 1960, the Viet Cong, officially the National Liberation Front, had formed to oppose the South Vietnamese government. What many don't realize is that this insurgency initially grew from genuine grievances. Diem's reversal of land reforms had forced peasants to return land they'd been farming and pay years of back rent to returning landlords. The numbers tell the story of escalation. American military advisors increased from 900 in 1960 to 16,000 by 1963. But this wasn't just about numbers. It represented a fundamental shift in American foreign policy. The Gulf of Tonkin incident in August 1964 marked the point of no return. While the first attack on USS Maddox did occur, declassified NSA documents revealed that the second attack, which prompted congressional authorization for expanded military action, never happened. This authorization led to Operation Rolling Thunder, a sustained bombing campaign that dropped approximately 864,000 tons of ordnance on North Vietnam between 1965 and 1968. To put this in perspective, this exceeded the total tonnage dropped by the U.S. in the Pacific Theater during World War II. The first U.S. combat troops, 3,500 Marines, landed at Da Nang in March 1965. By 1969, American forces peaked at 543,400 personnel. But these weren't just statistics. Each number represented families forever changed by this conflict. General William Westmoreland's strategy focused on attrition warfare, using superior firepower and technology to wear down enemy forces. The body count became the primary metric of success, an approach that would prove fundamentally flawed. The Tet Offensive of 1968 shattered American perceptions of progress. While tactically unsuccessful for North Vietnamese forces, they suffered an estimated 45,000 casualties. It achieved a strategic victory by demonstrating the war's true scope to the American public. Walter Cronkite's famous broadcast following Tet captured the moment. To say that we are mired in stalemate seems the only realistic, yet unsatisfactory conclusion. When America's most trusted newsman declared the war unwinnable, public opinion shifted decisively. Richard Nixon inherited a war that had already claimed over 30,000 American lives. His solution was Vietnamization, gradually transferring combat responsibilities to South Vietnamese forces while reducing American presence. The secret bombing of Cambodia, revealed in 1969, expanded the conflict beyond Vietnam's borders. Over 2 million tons of bombs were dropped on Laos and Cambodia combined, making Laos the most heavily bombed country per capita in history. The Paris Peace Accords, signed in January 1973, officially ended direct U.S. involvement. However, the agreement's key provision, allowing a substantial North Vietnamese military presence to remain in South Vietnam, made the outcome almost inevitable. The final collapse came swiftly. The 1975 Spring Offensive saw South Vietnamese forces crumble as American aid dwindled. The iconic images of helicopters evacuating personnel from rooftops in Saigon, including the famous photograph taken at 22G Longstreet, often mistaken for the U.S. Embassy, symbolize the end of America's longest war. The human cost defies simple statistics. Vietnamese casualties are estimated between 966,000 and 3 million total deaths. American losses totaled 58,281 killed, with 303,644 wounded, but numbers cannot capture the lasting trauma experienced by survivors on all sides. The war's environmental impact persists today. Agent Orange and other herbicides affected an estimated 4.8 million Vietnamese people, with health consequences continuing into subsequent generations. 20% of South Vietnam's jungle was sprayed with these chemicals. For America, Vietnam syndrome emerged. A reluctance to engage in overseas military interventions that influenced foreign policy for decades. The war also fundamentally changed the relationship between government and media, ending the era of largely uncritical war coverage. 3 key lessons emerge from this analysis. First, military superiority doesn't guarantee victory when fighting an insurgency with popular support and external backing. Despite overwhelming technological advantages, American forces couldn't achieve decisive victory against an enemy fighting on familiar terrain for national unification. Second, public support is crucial for sustained military engagement in democratic societies. The credibility gap between official statements and battlefield realities ultimately undermined domestic support for the war effort. Third, the importance of understanding local context cannot be overstated. American policymakers often misunderstood Vietnamese nationalism, viewing the conflict primarily through the lens of Cold War competition rather than recognizing legitimate aspirations for independence and unification. The Vietnam War represents more than a military conflict. It was a collision between different worldviews, strategies, and aspirations that reshaped international relations. From the initial advisory role in 1955 to the final evacuation in 1975, these 20 years demonstrated both the limits of military power and the enduring strength of nationalist movements. Understanding this conflict helps us analyze modern international interventions and the complex relationship between military action and political objectives. The war's legacy continues to influence American foreign policy, Vietnamese society, and international law regarding warfare. The lessons of Vietnam remain relevant as nations grapple with similar challenges in different contexts around the world. By studying this history objectively, we honor those who served and suffered while gaining insights crucial for future decision-making. What aspect of the Vietnam War's impact do you find most significant for understanding modern conflicts? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every comment and respond to as many as possible. If this analysis provided new insights into this complex conflict, please subscribe for more in-depth historical documentaries. Next week, we'll examine the Cold War's impact on Southeast Asia more broadly, building on today's foundation. For additional resources and primary source documents referenced in this video, check the description below. Until next time, may peace and friendship be with all the people of the world. Thank you for being part of this historical journey.